Good morning. As the sun rises over Europe, it greets a continent transformed by a winter unlike any in recent memory. Europe's winter has been anything but ordinary. In fact, it's been a season of relentless surprises, with each week bringing new challenges and stories of endurance. This year, we've seen a wild mix of weather, powerful blizzards, howling winds, and a deep freeze gripping nearly every corner of the continent. Streets that are usually bustling have been silenced by snowdrifts, and cities have been forced to adapt to conditions more extreme than many have ever experienced. From Scandinavia to the Mediterranean, no one has escaped the chaos. The cold has reached as far south as Rome and Athens, while the north has faced some of the harshest conditions in decades. Temperatures have plunged, storms have battered cities, and daily life has been upended. Schools have closed, businesses have shuttered, and transportation networks have ground to a halt under the weight of snow and ice. The culprit? A collision of Arctic air, courtesy of the polar vortex, and relentless Atlantic storms. This rare combination has created a perfect storm, funneling frigid air deep into Europe and fueling a series of powerful weather systems. The latest, Storm Goretti, has left a trail of disruption and danger. Trees have been toppled, rivers have burst their banks, and emergency services have been stretched to their limits responding to calls for help. This is a winter that's rewriting the record books and testing our resilience. Cities have seen snowfall totals not recorded in over a century, and meteorologists are scrambling to keep up with the pace of new records being set. Yet amid the hardship, there are moments of unexpected joy. Children building snowmen in city parks, neighbors coming together to help one another, and families finding creative ways to stay warm and entertained indoors. So grab a warm drink as we dive into the story behind Europe's extraordinary winter of 2026. Whether you're watching from a cozy cafe or bundled up at home, this is a season that will be remembered for years to come. We'll uncover why the cold and storms have been so severe and how people are coping. From innovative heating solutions to community shelters, adaptation has become the new normal. From travel chaos to community spirit, this is weather at its most dramatic. Across the continent, stories of resilience and solidarity are emerging, showing the true character of Europe in the face of adversity. Let's explore the winter that's making history, and discover what it means for the future of Europe's climate and the people who call it home. You've heard about the polar vortex, a term that's become a buzzword every winter, making headlines and sparking conversations about extreme cold snaps. But what does it actually mean? And why does it matter so much to our daily lives? The polar vortex isn't just a single storm or a passing weather event. It's a vast, persistent pool of icy air that swirls high above the Arctic, encircling the North Pole like a frozen crown. Picture a spinning mass of frigid air, thousands of kilometers wide, locked in place by powerful winds. This swirling system is a normal part of our planet's climate engine, quietly shaping winter weather patterns year after year. Usually, a strong jet stream acts like a barrier, keeping the coldest air trapped far to the north. This high-altitude river of wind flows around the Arctic, maintaining a delicate balance between frigid polar air and the milder air to the south. But this winter, something unusual happened. The jet stream weakened dramatically, a rare event known as sudden stratospheric warming. This phenomenon occurs when temperatures in the stratosphere suddenly spike, disrupting the polar vortex's stability. The result? The fence that usually holds the Arctic air in place broke down, allowing waves of bone-chilling cold to surge southward, spilling out of the Arctic and sweeping across Europe. Suddenly, cities from London to Rome, places more accustomed to rain than snow, were plunged into a deep freeze. Streets that rarely see snow were blanketed in white, and daily life was transformed almost overnight. This wasn't just a chilly spell, it was a major atmospheric disruption, a reminder of how quickly our weather can change when the forces above us shift. The dense, freezing air settled over Central and Eastern Europe, creating days of relentless cold, icy winds, and persistent snow. For many, it felt as if winter had tightened its grip and refused to let go. Meteorologists say it's the most significant shift in years, a rare event that's reshaping weather across the entire northern hemisphere. Scientists are closely monitoring these changes, trying to understand what they mean for our future winters. A single change high above the pole has left millions shivering far below, disrupting travel, daily routines, and even energy supplies as people struggle to stay warm. It's a powerful reminder of how connected our weather systems are, how a shift in the Arctic can ripple out, affecting lives thousands of kilometers away. The polar vortex's breakdown is the main reason for this winter's extraordinary cold, and it's a phenomenon that scientists will be studying for years to come. And as the cold lingers, one thing is clear. The Arctic's icy grip is far from over, and its influence reaches farther than we ever imagined. The arrival of Arctic air sent temperatures plummeting across Europe, catching many by surprise. As the cold front swept southward, it brought with it a biting wind that seemed to cut through even the thickest winter coats. People hurried along city streets, their breath visible in the frigid air, as the continent braced for a cold snap unlike any seen in recent years. Central and eastern regions saw the mercury drop 5 to 10 degrees below average, transforming cities into icy landscapes. Parks, once bustling with life, stood silent under a blanket of snow, and rivers began to freeze along their banks. The sudden chill forced communities to adapt quickly, with local authorities issuing warnings and urging residents to stay indoors whenever possible. Germany, Poland, and Ukraine recorded lows below -10°C. The Scottish Highlands hit -12.5. In some rural areas, temperatures dipped even further overnight, creating dangerous conditions for anyone caught outside. Schools closed, and public transport faced delays as snow and ice made travel hazardous. Even Western Europe felt the freeze, with France and the UK hovering near or below zero for days. In cities like Paris and London, iconic landmarks were dusted with snow, and residents bundled up in layers, braving the cold for essential errands. The wintry weather brought both beauty and disruption, as daily routines were upended by the relentless chill. The cold was relentless, seeping into homes and straining energy grids. Heating systems worked overtime, and energy demand soared as families tried to keep warm. In some regions, power outages added to the hardship, leaving people searching for alternative ways to stay safe and comfortable. Roads and pavements turned treacherous, and emergency services raced to help the vulnerable. Accidents increased as drivers struggled with icy conditions, and volunteers checked on elderly neighbors to ensure they had enough food and heat. Across the continent, communities pulled together to face the challenges brought by the deep freeze. This deep chill has been a stark reminder of nature's power and the need to be prepared. It has tested the resilience of cities and towns, highlighting both the vulnerability and the strength of those who call Europe home. It's been a defining feature of this remarkable winter, shaping daily life and leaving a lasting impression on all who experienced it. The snow and ice have created scenes of breathtaking beauty, but also posed serious challenges for millions. And it's not just the cold. Other challenges soon followed. As temperatures began to rise, rapid snowmelt led to flooding in some areas, while stormy weather battered coastlines. This winter has truly tested Europe's endurance, reminding us all of the unpredictable force of nature. As the cold settled in, Storm Goretti struck from the Atlantic. This bomb cyclone brought hurricane-force winds, up to 100 miles per hour in places like Corsica. The storm's sting jet unleashed intense localized damage, while heavy snow created blizzard conditions. Roads and railways vanished under drifts, trapping people and halting emergency services. Tragically, several lives were lost across Europe, a sobering reminder of the storm's power. Goretti left a deep scar, compounding the misery of the polar cold. The combination of wind and snow pushed communities to their limits, and the continent was about to face even more disruption. The deep freeze and Storm Goretti brought Europe's transport to a standstill. Airports like Schiphol and Orly cancelled hundreds of flights, stranding thousands overnight. Roads became impassable with ice and snow, causing massive traffic jams and accidents. Public transport buckled, trams in Göteborg stopped, Helsinki's buses stalled, and Glasgow's subway shut down. Even military help was requested to reach cut-off communities. For millions, daily life ground to a halt as travel became nearly impossible. The continent had never seen such widespread disruption. Some countries have faced the worst of this winter's wrath. The UK and France were battered by Goretti, closing schools and crippling transport. Germany endured both deep freeze and heavy snow, leaving thousands in Berlin without power for days. Even Scandinavia, used to harsh winters, saw systems pushed to the brink. The Balkans faced a double threat: snow and flooding, with communities cut off and infrastructure damaged. Tragedy struck in Sarajevo, where a falling branch claimed a life. Across Europe, the scale of the crisis has tested even the most prepared nations. The battle has been relentless, against cold, snow, and rising water. Yet, resilience shines through. One of the winter's biggest surprises? Snow in the south. Arctic air reached Italy and Spain, blanketing cities unaccustomed to winter white. Bologna's historic streets and even parts of southern Europe woke to a rare snow day. The same cold air mass brought snow to Jeju Island in South Korea, showing the global reach of this event. While beautiful, these regions struggled. Lacking snowplows and gritters, even a little snow caused chaos. Still, the wonder and excitement brought moments of joy amid the hardship. This winter has truly rewritten the weather map. Amid the chaos, Europe's resilience has shown. Neighbors checked on the vulnerable, volunteers cleared snow, and emergency crews worked around the clock. In the Alps, rescue teams braved avalanches. Elsewhere, engineers restored power in brutal conditions. Families made the best of snow days, building snowmen and finding joy where they could. Local authorities opened shelters and ran safety campaigns, while communities pulled together. Even festivals continued, bringing color to the white landscape. The spirit of solidarity has been as remarkable as the weather itself. Together, people are weathering the storm. As January 2026 ends, this winter stands out for its extremes. The polar vortex collapse and storms like Goretti have left lasting marks on infrastructure, communities, and memories. We've seen both hardship and heartwarming resilience. Meteorologists warn more cold could be coming, with unsettled patterns and global shifts still in play. The cleanup is underway, but the lessons linger. We're vulnerable to nature, but stronger together. This winter has deepened our respect for the weather and for each other. As calm returns, the story of this unforgettable season will be told for years. Stay prepared. Winter may not be done with us yet,